Roman Reigns says he no longer hangs out with a former WWE Champion. Sami Zayn blasts his WWE management in a public rant on Twitter. And Booker T says WWE needs a top star to return and win the Royal Rumble. What's up, everyone? I'm Jose G, and there's a lot to talk about in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Round Up. Never miss brand new content by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Roman Reigns says he no longer hangs out with a former WWE Champion. Roman Reigns recently spoke candidly about no longer hanging out with former stablemate Jon Moxley. Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley were once inseparable. The duo, along with Seth Rollins, debuted and gained fame as The Shield in WWE. Today, Reigns is the most despised heel in the company, while Mox is the top babyface in All Elite Wrestling. Reigns spoke about his relationship with Moxley during his latest appearance on the SI Media podcast. The Tribal Chief recalled always hanging out with Moxley and being super tight with him. He finished off on a sad note, stating that the two don't hang out for a beer anymore. Roman Reigns and Moxley have opened up about their relationship on various occasions in the past. The two have had nothing but praise for each other. However, Reigns did take a slight jab at Moxley once for leaving WWE and joining All Elite Wrestling. Both Reigns and Mox are the top talents of their respective promotions, but it doesn't look like we'll be seeing a reunion between the former Shield brothers down the road. Becky Lynch says a current WWE Superstar is trying to act tough around her. Becky Lynch has responded to Doudrop's recent comments about waiting 15 long years to face the Raw Women's Champion. While speaking with Alex McCarthy of TalkSport, the Scottish star revealed that she and Big Time Bex went way back. When Doudrop started training to become a wrestler, there were a handful of experienced women in the UK professional wrestling scene, with Lynch being one of them. The Raw Women's Champion reacted to Doudrop's recent comments about the duo's past and didn't mince words while addressing her Royal Rumble challenger. Big Time Bex said that Doudrop is beside herself because Lynch changed the landscape of women's wrestling while Doudrop was on the sidelines watching. Doudrop has waited a long time to face Lynch in the squared circle. She became the #1 contender for the Raw Women's title by defeating Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair in a triple threat match. Becky Lynch has been holding the coveted strap ever since taking it from Charlotte Flair during their awkward championship exchange segment last year. She is quite possibly the biggest female star in WWE today, and it won't be an easy task for Doudrop to dethrone Lynch at the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn blasts WWE management in a public rant on Twitter. WWE Superstar Sami Zayn opened up with his frustrations about WWE management in a Twitter thread he recently posted. Zayn has been involved in a feud with Johnny Knoxville ahead of the Royal Rumble. The two have had several interactions on SmackDown over the last few weeks. Unfortunately, the conspiracy theorist had the worst of all his encounters with the star of the Jackass franchise. The WWE Superstar addressed his grievances in a social media post, calling out the promotion for their twisted logic that has allowed Knoxville to be a part of the Royal Rumble match. Sami Zayn believes he is a victim of a conspiracy and used a detailed post to highlight the unjust treatment against the former champion. He narrated how he was subjected to multiple painful segments on 2 episodes of Insane when he tried to mimic Knoxville's real-life stints. The latter made his career by testing his resilience against several dangerous objects. Hence, Zayn felt he needed to do so as well. Except the self-proclaimed locker room leader pretended to electrocute himself or jump off a trolley only to find out that he would have to end up doing the same thing in reality. It's confirmed that Sami Zayn will be one of the 30 superstars participating in the upcoming Royal Rumble match. He will have to look out for Johnny Knoxville, who is determined to eliminate the SmackDown superstar from the high-stakes match. AJ Styles wants a former WWE star to face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. AJ Styles believes that former WWE superstar Michelle McCool would be the perfect opponent for Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. McCool was announced for the annual over-the-top elimination match a couple of weeks back on SmackDown along with other former WWE superstars. This would beat an All-American Diva's first appearance in the company since the women's exclusive pay-per-view Evolution in 2018. AJ Styles and Michelle McCool were guests on this week's WWE's The Bump. When talking about the Women's Royal Rumble match, the Phenomenal One stated that he'd love it if Michelle would win the match and challenge the Queen at the grandest stage. Charlotte Flair recently announced her entry into the Marquee Battle Royal event, declaring that she would choose her challenger for WrestleMania 38 if she wins. The booking confused many, as champions don't usually compete in the Royal Rumble match. It looks like AJ Styles is in for the same boat as the fans. The former world champion was left thoroughly perplexed after learning about Charlotte's participation in the bout. Charlotte won't be the first superstar to enter the Royal Rumble as champion. Brock Lesnar entered in the 2020 edition of the event as champion. After dominating the match for a while, the Beast Incarnate was eliminated by the eventual winner, Drew McIntyre, who defeated him at WrestleMania 36. Booker T says WWE needs a top star to return and win the Royal Rumble. Alexa Bliss needs to return to the WWE ring and win the Women's Royal Rumble match this Saturday, as per Booker T. Bliss recently returned to screen, appearing in a segment with a psychologist on Raw. She has continued to use her dark character, but a recent trademark application has hinted at her possibly reverting to her old persona of the goddess. While speaking on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T discussed possible Women's Royal Rumble match winners. He feels the company desperately needs Bliss back in the ring to bolster its women's division and to go on to main event WrestleMania. Bliss hasn't wrestled since her loss to Charlotte Flair at Extreme Rules in September of 2021. WWE has announced a number of superstars who will participate in both men's and women's Royal Rumble matches this year. Alexa Bliss could be one of the surprise entrants in the Women's Royal Rumble match, which already looks stacked with the addition of the top stars of Raw and SmackDown, as well as a few legends. Recent reports indicate that Ronda Rousey is set to make a stunning return on the road to WrestleMania. If the former UFC Women's Champion enters the Women's Royal Rumble, she will be heavily favored to win the match and set up a massive clash with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. For exclusive content that you never want to miss, you gotta subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Follow us on all social media and download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.